You are 6 years old, and you think your father is a king. Not a metaphor, literally a king. Because in the quartieri spagnoli of Naples, the narrow streets where laundry hangs between buildings like flags and the smell of fried dough mixes with exhaust and salt air, your father is the law. Men stop talking when he walks by. Women touch their children instinctively, pulling them a little closer. Old men nod with their chins, a gesture that is somewhere between respect and relief. You watch all of this from his shoulders, because he carries you on his shoulders when he walks the neighborhood. You are 6 years old, and you are the Prince of Naples, and you have absolutely no idea what that means yet. Your home is a palazzo in Posillipo, the hill above the city where you can see the whole bay from your bedroom window. Vesuvius in the distance. The sea. At night, the lights of the city look like scattered diamonds. You don't know that half those lights are neighborhoods your father controls. You just think Naples is beautiful. You are right, but for the wrong reasons. Your father's name means something. You learn this early. When you say it at school, teachers get quiet. When you say it at the market, prices change. When you say it to the older boys who try to take your football, they hand it back immediately and walk away without looking at you. You are 7 years old, and you already have a force field made of your father's reputation. It feels like a superpower. You don't understand yet that every superpower has a cost. You are 9 years old the first time you understand that your family is different in a way that isn't simply wealth. Your cousin Marco comes to visit from Palermo. He's older, 14, and he has the eyes of someone who has already seen too much. You play PlayStation together for 3 days. On the last night, the adults have a long dinner that goes past midnight. You and Marco sneak downstairs to steal cannoli from the kitchen. Through the half-open door of the dining room, you see your father at the head of the table, surrounded by men in expensive suits. Someone slides a photograph across the table. Your father looks at it. He doesn't change expression. He nods once. Marco pulls you back upstairs by the arm. His grip is harder than it needs to be. You ask him what the photo was. He says, "Don't ask questions you don't want answers to." You steal the cannoli and go back to your room and play until 4 in the morning, and neither of you mentions it again. But you don't sleep. You think about the way your father nodded. The same way he nods when you ask if you can have dessert before dinner. Casual. Final. Absolute. 3 days later, you read in the newspaper that a man was found in the port. You recognize the name from conversations you weren't supposed to hear. You put the cannoli and the photograph and the nod and the newspaper together in your mind. You build the equation. You don't write it down anywhere. You just know. And knowing changes something in you that can never be changed back. You are 11 and your education is split between 2 schools. The official one is a private Jesuit institution where you wear a uniform and learn Latin, and the teachers call your father the commendator with straight faces. You are good at mathematics and terrible at following rules. The unofficial school happens on Saturdays when your father takes you to meet people. Not business meetings, visits. You sit in bars drinking espresso you're too young for and listen to men talk. You learn to read rooms. Who defers to whom? Who speaks first? Who waits? Who counts exits? You learn that real power is never announced. It's demonstrated through who moves when you enter. Your father teaches you with questions, never lectures. He points at a man across the bar and says, "What do you notice?" You say, "He's nervous." Your father says, "Why?" You say, "He keeps touching his watch but not reading the time." Your father nods. He says, "And what does that tell you?" You say, "He's waiting for something. He doesn't know if it's good or bad." Your father smiles. It is the proudest he has ever looked at you. You feel a warmth that you will spend the rest of your life trying to recreate and never quite managing it. You are 12 years old and you have your first bodyguard. His name is Ciro. He is 28, built like a wardrobe, and he carries a Beretta under his left arm that you can see the outline of when he reaches for things. Ciro drives you to school, waits outside, drives you home. He also teaches you things your school never will. How to notice if someone is following you. How to vary your route. How to read if a car has been parked too long in one place. You absorb everything. To you it feels like a game, an exciting one. You don't understand yet that these are survival skills, not party tricks. You are 13 and a girl at school named Julia tells you she likes you. She passes you a note during chemistry, folded into a small square. Your name written on it in green ink. It is the most normal thing that has ever happened to you, and it destroys you completely because you immediately think, "She doesn't know who I am. She just sees a boy in the 3rd row who is good at mathematics." For 1 week, you walk around school feeling almost human. You write her name in the margins of your notebooks. You think about what it would be like to take her for pizza on the waterfront like a normal person. You ask Ciro if that would be possible. He looks at you with something that isn't quite pity, but is close to it. He says he'd need to clear the route first and have 2 men stationed at the restaurant. You think about Julia sitting across from you while plainclothes bodyguards pretend to eat at adjacent tables. You never give her an answer. You throw the note away. She stops looking at you after 2 weeks. This is your first real heartbreak, and you cannot explain it to anyone. You are 15, and your father sits you down for a conversation. Not a talk, a conversation. There is a difference, and he makes the difference clear immediately. Talks are what parents give children. Conversations are what men have with men. He pours you a small glass of wine, which he has never done before. He looks at you for a long time without speaking. Then he says, "You know what we are." You say yes. He says, "Say it." You say, "Camorra." He nods. He says, "Not just Camorra. We are the Secondigliano Alliance. We have been here for 40 years. Your grandfather built it from nothing, from a fish stall in the market and a willingness to do what others wouldn't. I inherited it, expanded it. One day it will be yours." He pauses. He says, "I need to know if you are strong enough." You say yes without thinking because you are 15 and you don't yet understand that strength isn't about the absence of fear. It's about what you do with the fear when it arrives. That understanding will come later, coated in blood and regret. He says, "Good. Then listen." He tells you about the system, not the violence. You already understand violence exists. He tells you about the structure, the clans, the territories, the agreements. How the Camorra is not like the Sicilian Mafia with its formal initiation rituals and blood oaths. It is looser, more chaotic, more dangerous because of it. Alliances shift. Today's partner is next month's enemy. The only constant is family. Blood is the only currency that doesn't devalue. You drink your wine very slowly and listen and feel something closing around you like a door swinging shut. Not with violence. Quietly. The way seasons change. You are 16 and you see your first man die. It is not an execution. It is messier than that. A disagreement at a warehouse in Scampia escalates faster than anyone anticipated. You are there because you were supposed to be learning logistics, not witnessing this. 2 shots. A man you met once, whose name you knew, is on the concrete floor. The smell is something chemistry class never prepared you for. Your father's people move efficiently around the body. This is not their first time. They speak quietly, calmly, about practical things. You stand against the wall and concentrate on not showing anything on your face. This is the most important test you have ever taken, and there is no grade, only survival. On the drive home, Ciro asks if you're all right. You say yes. He nods. He says, "The first one is the hardest." You don't ask him how many he has seen. You already know the answer would make you sick. You don't sleep that night. You calculate, without meaning to, how many more you will see before this is over. You cannot find the end of that number. This is the moment you understand that there is no retirement from this life. There is only the life, and then the end of it. You are 17, and your father is almost killed. A rival clan from Secondigliano makes a move. It is coordinated, professional, 3 cars blocking his convoy on the tangential. His bodyguards respond. 4 men die in 12 seconds. Your father survives because his driver accelerates through a gap that wasn't quite big enough and takes the rear quarter panel off against a concrete barrier. He arrives home with glass in his hair and a cut above his ear that needs 8 stitches. You watch the doctor work and notice your father's hands are completely still in his lap. Not shaking, just resting. You don't know if that makes him brave or broken, and you're not sure there's a difference. That night your mother cries in the kitchen for 3 hours. She has known what your father is since before you were born. She chose this life for reasons that made sense in their 20s and make less sense now. You sit with her for a while without speaking. She says, "I didn't want this for you." You don't ask her what she thought would happen. You just make her tea and sit with her until the crying stops. The men responsible are found within 72 hours. You are not told the details. You don't ask. But you notice that 3 names stop appearing in your father's conversations. Absences answer. You are 18 and your father goes to prison. Not for the first time. He has had 2 shorter stays, legal turbulence that his lawyers navigated. This time it is different. The DDA, the anti-mafia prosecutors, have been building the case for 6 years. Pentiti, informants, men who broke the code of silence that the Camorra calls omerta. The trial is public, covered by every newspaper in Italy. Your father's face on the front page of La Repubblica, the commendatore in handcuffs. The palazzo searched by men in latex gloves who do not care about the art on the walls or the family photographs they move to look behind. You are not arrested. You are not yet in the formal structure. You are his son, not officially his successor. But everyone knows. The clan knows. The rival clans know. The prosecutors know. Within 1 week, 3 senior men come separately to tell you they are with you. This is not loyalty. This is a calculation. They are betting on you because the alternative is chaos, and chaos is bad for business. You receive their loyalty with the same still hands you inherited from your father. Inside, you are terrified. You don't let it touch your face. You visit him in Poggio Real prison on a gray Tuesday. He looks smaller somehow, though he is the same size. Prisons do this. They compress people. He asks about the business without using any words that could be used in court. You answer the same way. It is the most Italian conversation you have ever had, an entire meeting conducted entirely in implication. Before the guard signals the end of visiting time, your father says one thing directly. Don't trust anyone who volunteers information too quickly. You nod. You carry that sentence like a stone in your chest for years. You are 19 and you are running the clan. Not officially. Officially, there are underbosses, capizzoni, men 3 times your age who have earned their positions through decades of violence and loyalty. But the name is yours. The blood is yours. In the Camorra, blood is not just one factor. It is the factor. You are the son of the boss. Until your father returns or dies, you are what the structure requires. You make decisions you are not ready to make. A dispute over territory in Ponticelli. A problem with a supplier in Amsterdam who is skimming. A traitor inside the organization. Someone who has been talking to the prosecutors. Each situation requires a response. Each response has consequences. You learn that power is not the ability to do anything. Power is the burden of knowing that whatever you choose, someone will suffer for it. The question is only who. The traitor is dealt with. You don't order anything you wouldn't say out loud to his face, because your father taught you that a man who only gives orders he'd be ashamed to speak clearly is a coward in a powerful position. You look the men in the eye when you speak. They respect this, or they perform respect, which at 19 is close enough. Your mother moves to a house in Ischia that you bought for her. She takes the dog and her sister and a box of photographs, and she doesn't come back. She is not leaving you. She is leaving the life, which is different. You understand. You don't say so. You call her every Sunday and talk about ordinary things. The weather on the island, what she is cooking, how the dog is doing. You maintain the fiction of normality like a garden that requires constant tending. You are 21 and you have not slept more than 4 hours consecutively in 2 years. The paranoia is not irrational. This is important to understand. The 2 attempts on your life since taking over were real. The first was amateurish, a drive-by in Secondigliano that your men spotted and avoided before it happened. The second was more sophisticated. Someone in your inner circle fed information about your location. You don't know who. This uncertainty is the most corrosive thing you have ever experienced. It eats at everything. Every meeting, every meal, every conversation carries an undercurrent of, is this the one? Is this the moment? You change your inner circle. You move locations constantly. You trust the process your father taught you and Ciro demonstrated. Vary everything. Predict nothing. Trust no one completely. You are 21 years old and you have the strategic instincts of someone who has been surviving for decades, because survival accelerates everything. You meet a woman named Elena in Capri on a weekend that was supposed to be neutral ground, business conducted in the language of leisure. She doesn't know who you are, only that you have a boat and you speak 4 languages, and you seem to find the right balance between attentive and not trying too hard. You spend 3 days pretending to be a person. It is the most exhausted and most alive you have felt in years. When you leave, you don't give her your real name or your real number. You give her a name you sometimes use, a number that routes through 3 different countries. You tell yourself this is protection for her. This is partially true. You are 23 and your father dies in Poggio Real. The official cause is heart failure. He was 58 and had high blood pressure and the stress of incarceration. This is all true. It is also true that men who know what he knew Men who could name names that would end careers and lives and political dynasties do not always die of natural causes in Italian prisons. You will never know with certainty. This uncertainty is its own sentence, one you will serve for the rest of your life. The funeral is in the church in Quartiere Spagnoli, where he was baptized and where you were baptized. Half of Naples comes. Politicians who publicly condemned him send private representatives. Men you have never met weep openly in the street. Your father was a violent criminal who caused immeasurable suffering. He was also the man who carried you on his shoulders through these same streets when you were 6 and let you feel like a king. Both things are completely true. You hold both truths in your hands during the Mass and do not know what to do with the weight of them. You do not cry in public. You learn this from him. You cry once, later, in the car with Ciro, who has been with you since you were 12 and who has seen everything and said nothing unnecessary about any of it. Ciro doesn't say anything now either. He just drives. This is the kindest thing anyone has ever done for you. You are 25 and you are tired in a way that cannot be fixed by sleep. You control a significant portion of one of the most powerful criminal organizations in Europe. You move product through 3 countries. You have relationships with clans in Calabria and connections in Marseille, and an arrangement with a supply network that reaches South America. By any external measure, you have won the game you were born into. You also have not had a genuine conversation with someone who wasn't either afraid of you or paid to be near you in longer than you can remember. You have not gone to a restaurant and ordered what you wanted instead of what was safe in 2 years. You have not walked alone in Naples at night, in the city you love in the way you love a scar, since before your father went to prison. You have 4 phones, 6 identities, and 0 people who know your name in the ordinary simple way a person's name is supposed to be known. At 25, you look 40 and feel 80, and you understand something your father probably understood too, which is why he never spoke it out loud. The life you were born into is not a life. It is a performance of a life, staged in beautiful settings, surrounded by people playing roles, where everyone knows the last act, but nobody mentions it because mentioning it makes it real. The Bay of Naples is still there, still the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You stand on the terrace of the Palazzo some evenings and look at Vesuvius across the water and think about the fact that the mountain is still active, that what looks permanent and silent is full of pressure that is nowhere to go. That beauty and catastrophe are not opposites. In Naples, they are the same thing, wearing different expressions. You are 25 years old. You are the son of the boss. You are the boss. And you have never, not once in your conscious memory, been simply a person.